Scott remembered. You made the face. That was awesome.
I did.
We are back. It is episode 131 of the Metal Roundtable. I am Metal Rob, and with me, as always, is the great
Carcass John.
And continuing to be new and improved. He brings so much newness and so much improvement to the show. The great, here we go,
Scott Flood Waters.
I'm trying to get,
which is
almost,
fitting, as my mom just called and said a pipe broke at her house and she needs a plumber.
That's not you.
No, I'm not a plumber.
No, if she needed somebody to talk metal, then you could be helpful.
Yeah, I can make her a nice business card if she wants.
Yeah, there you go. Very nice. So it's been a minute. We were out for a week, and then we had Charlie Belmore, who is that dude's a spark plug, man.
I think he's the entire motor. He's not just the spark plug. He's the 427 Hemi.
Oh my gosh!
And gets us down the track in a hurry.
I can't wait to run into that dude at a show. Hopefully we will get to do that. Shout outs. Let's go around the table like we do when we don't have a guest. I'm going to shout out two things real quick. I'm going to shout out Monkey Butt. I talked to him on the phone today. We had a nice long conversation. He sounds exactly like he always did, perfectly normal. Everything has gone as well as could be expected. And in the next week or two, he is going to join us for a full update himself.
Sweet.
Nice.
And he wants to get back into producing the show, so maybe you won't have to put up with my shitty production.
Well, we weren't going to say anything, but now that you said it,
I got to figure out how.
Welcome back, Monkey Butt.
I don't know how he gets the transition smooth between the video clips. I can't figure that out. But and then oh good, we've already got comments. We're going to talk about new releases and whatever you guys want to talk about today. So let's be as interactive as possible in the comments. I also wanted to shout out very quickly. Oh my gosh, I've lost the names. Richo and Mick from Stone Trip took Best Vocalist and Best Guitar Player in some awards that Golden Robot Records was a part of. And I apologize for not having more specifics, but I feel like I kind of feel like they're one of our bands, you know.
Well, they didn't slap anybody during the ceremony or anything.
They did not slap anybody, as far as I know. And I'm going to distractingly look at their Facebook page in a minute so I can get it right. But shout out to those dudes. Congrats to they took Best Vocals and Best Guitar Performance.
Nice.
Sweet.
How about you, Scooter?
I picked up a couple of CDs this week that I just picked up for the heck of it, just to give them a try. Bands I don't know anything about. Pagan Rain. They are a band from Russia, and they play some sort of Russian folk death black metal, and I have yet to hear it. I just got it in. This is their second album from 2003, but apparently they have like 10 albums out. Everybody heard of them?
Never.
Nope.
You know, just when you think you know everything about music and you've heard about all these cool bands, there's someone like that just it's kind of like Accuser. You know what? I thought they had 3 or 4 releases, and to come to find out they have 11.
No, they have 15.
Oh, well, see, there you go.
But Retroactive Records, Brutal Planet Records is putting out 11 of their projects on vinyl, CD.
Dang. Okay, I know. Never mind. Go ahead. I know where you're headed. Go ahead.
Okay, That sounds like a shout out to me.
And my next shout out was going to be to Brutal Planet Records, who is just killing it with the reissues right now. Flotsam and Jetsam Gold Disc. They did 3 of their albums, and hopefully they'll do more Flotsam and Jetsams. This one came out stellar. Rob Caldwell, some guy I know named Rob Caldwell, did the mastering on these things, and they sound fantastic.
Thank you, sir.
And Nevermore.
Oh, love those records.
So far, they've done 3, but rumor has it they're going to be doing the whole catalog like they're doing the Accuser catalog.
We hear lots of rumors on this show.
There are rumblings.
There are some.
And the thing is, I want to, while you're on the topic of Brutal Planet Records, Scott, I want to pop in and real quick and say this. I want to piggyback on that, and then we'll get to Carcass's shout-outs. But there is a misconception about some of these labels and whether these things are officially licensed. I can tell you unequivocally, without question, all of that stuff that Brutal Planet is doing is 100% officially licensed from the label, from Century Media, from Metal Blade, or whoever owns the rights. Most cases, bands don't own the rights to their music. People don't know that. So do not hesitate. If you think that that's some sort of bootleg thing going on, nope. I've known Matt Hunt for, 25 years, maybe more. And now he does his thing with Brutal Planet, and he will be a force to be reckoned with in the reissue community. So check that stuff out, and it's top notch. And I will now scratch Scott's back. I am very fortunate to have done the mastering, and I am so thankful to have had Matt as a client of my mastering studio for the past 20 plus years. But he's also one of Scott's biggest clients. And so we are so lucky to be able to work on these things with these, legit reissues, and we're just stoked to do it. So Scott's kicking 100% of the ass too.
Yep, I'm digging it. So anyhow, shout out to them. Look for the Accuser stuff coming out soon.
I've had some people asking about it, especially on vinyl, and so you'll have some sales directly as a result of the show. Hey.
Good. Yep, there'll be vinyl, there'll be cassettes, there'll be CDs. They won't be gold discs though. Accuser will not be gold discs.
Okay, well, I think thrash needs to be a little dirty anyway, or a little normal. I'm just saying IMO, but anyway.
Well, the reason they do the gold discs is besides the fact that they're upgrades slightly, is because a lot of these titles have been released before on CD.
Right.
So they want to get something special, different than what's already been released.
Right.
Well, the Accuser catalog is, other than their last 3 albums that were on Metal Blade, but all their stuff from '89 to 2011 was only ever released in Europe. So this is the first time they're getting released here. So they want to do them more of as a straightforward regular disc.
So are the gold disc, are they a 24-bit mastering, or are they any special mastering, or are they just a different?
It's more
type?
of an archival disc. It's not like you're thinking
gotcha.
with the MFSL thing where it's because those go through a special process. Even though these are mastered, when you go to CD, if it's not, and I don't know what a Super Audio CD specs are, but it's 16-bit 44.1. That's just what CDs are.
I gotcha.
And so there's no special process there, but they do sound great. But the cool thing is, they are much less susceptible to disc rot, which
yeah,
they're kind of, it's more of an archival quality disc.
And funny you should say that, because I had a Hammerwitch CD that I mean that's one of my favorite local thrash legends from Dallas that just doesn't play anymore. And I look down and you can see these places where you can see that the material underneath the plastic on the CD is degraded. So to your point, anyway, okay.
Yep, go for it.
Shout outs. I'm going to shout out Mark Chaos Massacre, because the guy got up at 8 a.m. to listen to us blather on about metal. With that's cool. And TJ, he's always welcome. But you know what? A couple things, and as we talked about what we're gonna discuss today in coming up with our talking about new releases or releases that we picked up recently. I go into a CD warehouse in Arlington occasionally on my lunch break when I have work in that area, and that's how I spend my lunch. And those guys are always playing something cool in there and stuff I've never heard of. And once again, to your point, just when you think you know it all, you don't really know anything. And so the last 3 times I've been in there, I've purchased what they were playing in the general PA overhead. And so major shout out to those guys, because that's what music's all about to me anyway, is kind of sharing it. It's not necessarily hoarding it. I remember as a kid, we used to gather, we'd ride our bikes over to the friend with the biggest, whose dad had the biggest stereo, and we'd gather around and we'd all share what we purchased, and that was the way we listened back then. So shout out to CD Warehouse, and shout out to Henry Vasquez, that maniac who, when he's not drumming for St. Vitus or the Skull or Spirit Caravan or any of those other bands, he's opening yet another record store called The Freak. And if you're in the DFW area, now you've got 2 more places to check out while you're here if you're into nostalgia and old records and vintage audio and all sorts of fun stuff. So shout out to him. I found something at his new place that I thought I would never see again, and there it was. So anyway, so what do we got? Who's gonna go first?
That dude's a hustler. I want to tell somebody before we get straight into the topic. I want to tell people. So you touched on this just now, Carcass, and I want to piggyback on what you just said. Discovering new music is still a big deal for me, whether it's a new album by a band that I've loved forever or a brand new band with new music, whatever. But the thing is, I used to do an internet radio show, and due to time constraints, I haven't done that in a few months now. But the whole purpose of that was to expose new music from classic bands, as well as up and coming artists and, new bands with cool metal and stuff like that. So if you go to Spotify, if any of you are Spotify users, I know that's a dirty word, but I actually am a Spotify user. I love it. We can go into that later, but that's a great way to discover bands. And I do have a profile, and you can go check out 6 Metal Rob Show. They're not episodes yet because I haven't figured out how to do that, but it's 6 playlists of new music from classic bands and, new bands, Stone Trip, stuff like that. So I'm going to try to post that link here if I can figure out how the hell to do it.
Did you say new?
But you can, if you go to Spotify and Google or search the Metal the Metal Rob Show, can't talk. The Metal Rob Show, you'll find it. So, gosh, man, it's awesome to have all these comments already. So let's get into it, boys. Did you say me go first?
Sure, go ahead.
Whomever.
I've got 5 things. I know you boys are going to have a ton of stuff.
5?
Yeah, I've got 5. I like to let you guys talk on this kind of stuff. It's all good, man. Well, my number 1, and this has been in the top 5 of my playlist for the last year or two. Stone Trip's EP came out a few weeks ago. It's a 5-song EP on Golden Robot Records. I had heard most everything on it, but I tried to be careful and at the end and just listen to the last 2 songs just a little bit so I'd have something new when I got it in the mail. It came 5 songs. It's fantastic. If you loved Sideways, their first song, you'll love this. This is heavier Great White. It's killer bluesy hard rock. I think it's got a lot of traditional heavy metal in it, but if you like Great White, the harder stuff like Rolling Stoned, stuff like that, not the really glitzy stuff, this is a little more, I don't want to say stripped down because the production is badass. It is top-notch modern production. But man, if you want good traditional hard rock heavy metal, I cannot say this enough. Go to Golden Robot Records and pick up the Stone Trip EP because it is out of this world. 10 out of 10 for me. And that's no bullshit because we've had them on the show or anything like that. I paid for this. I didn't get it for free. I fucking love that band, and they are super guys. And
well, you said the magic word. You said "out of this world," and hence that was kind of the inspiration for the little space girl on the T-shirt design that I did for them, because you very rarely get a good combo of just killer riffing and great vocals and like a hard driving, something you'd want to listen to, even when you're whether you're down or you're happy, you're whatever. I mean, Stone Trip is just killer music. It makes a difference.
Yeah, it's just great hard rock, man. I love it. Shit, that is right in the middle of my wheelhouse of what I love. Great vocals, killer guitar licks, the rhythm section is on fire, and the production is top notch. It's just a great record, man.
What you remember? Is that end of 2021 or was that the beginning of 2022?
It says 2021.
I think it was the tail end of 21.
But I think has it already been out that long? I don't know. I think I got it in early 22.
I think so too, but that's why I was just curious when it came out.
It probably took that long to ship from Australia.
Yeah, well, and I'm sure that they may have been at the plant for a long time, but I don't know. Who's next?
Yeah, John.
Oh, well, I guess I'm sort of misunderstood because I've been in the process of kind of consolidating, but when I consolidate, sometimes there's a little horse trading going on, and so I've picked up some things that I've kind of gone through my collection and decided on, like, this is untouchable. I'm not going to get rid of it. This has to stay. And so in that process, I've picked up a few things, but I've, disbanded with some others. And one of them I picked up was this Abath. This is the second album.
Are cool.
Yeah, this was a new acquisition. But if you notice the sticker, it's a glow in the dark record, and it's really, really cool. So that was the one I didn't have, and it was super expensive if you're just buying it on the open market, but I didn't have to do that. This is another one, and you know what? This is not for everybody. If you're expecting Blood Incantation with gurgling and gargling and ripping heavy riffs, you're not going to get it. This is a very spiritual, ambient. Well, in fact, it even says here on the record, it says, experience the new EP of epic cosmic cinematic dark analog psychedelia. And it says, for fans of Tangerine Dream, Popol Vuh, and Dead Can Dance. Man, I love this record. And these dudes are you talk about out of this world. They are in a different astral plane. And so it's probably not for everybody, especially if you're into some of the other heavier stuff that I like. But I love it because I love the atmospheric elements of Blood Incantation. And now they've just done a whole 20 minutes on one side, 18 minutes on the other of just that ambience. But anyway, like I said, here's what I'm really proud of. Dude, this thing absolutely shreds. What color is yours, Scott?
I think I usually order black, but let me see. I can't remember now. Oh,
mine's Firefly Glow, whatever that is. Well, it's like a marbled yellow, kind of like amber, and with some strings of red in it. But
mine's orange and red.
This thing absolutely shreds. Violence was disappeared for a while, as my friend would say, and now they are back with a vengeance. And let's just add the bass player from Fear Factor and Fear Factory and Bobby Gustafson, late of Overkill. And I'm telling you what, this thing just rules. I so wish they were part of that the Bay Area Strikes Back thing, that Violence would just sort of pop on, because that would complete the quadfecta with Testament, Death Angel, and Exodus. But man, I really love that thing, and that I actually went out and paid for because I love Violence. I think they're one of the greater thrash metal bands of our time. Scott.
That's awesome.
Yep, I agree on that. Violence is
That
fantastic.
all counts, dude. You're doing great.
Yeah, it's a shame it's only an EP though, but even at an EP, it's still fantastic. What, 5 songs, I think?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5 songs. But anyhow, and there's no Rob Flynn on here, which I'm sure people are wondering if that's the case or not. But
Yeah, no, he hasn't been really part of it. In fact, when I saw them in January of 21 with Carcass, Razor, Violence, and Power Trip, the Mighty Power Trip, that ended up being their last live show. Violence has not missed a beat. I've seen them back in the 90s. Some of the Houstonians might remember their gig at Power Tools. Man, Violence is freaking awesome, and I've seen them at least a dozen times, if not more. But anyway, they're back with a vengeance, and their core guys of Perry Strickland on drums and Phil Demmel writing all these great killer riffs and leads, and the enigmatic Sean Killian, who is a cancer survivor, and major props to him, who basically was left for dead is in remission, and I hope it continues because good dudes and a killer vocalist, killer front man.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry, didn't mean to jump in on your stuff.
No, I agree. It's a great album. It's of the new stuff I bought this year. It's probably one of the ones I've listened to the most. Although I think this is probably the one I've listened to actually the most. But this is the
oh yeah,
the new Deliverance, the new old Deliverance. So it's Camelot and Smithereens, but it's called Camelot Redux. It's reimagined, and it's so much better. It doesn't even sound like the same. It's not even the same album. I mean, you can recognize some of the songs, but it's totally different. It's so much better than the original. It's what the band wanted to begin with, but their record label and producer didn't allow it last time. Cut things out, and this is just freaking awesome. I honestly put this up there on the same level play as Operation Mindcrime.
I completely agree.
It's fantastic. It
Completely agree.
Really
There are some concept albums that you can give really high praise, and obviously for hard rock and metal, Queensryche is at the top. But that Camelot and Smithereens redo is absolutely amazing. And man, another one that you and I got lucky enough to work on. You know?
Yeah, I mean, everything about it is fantastic. The guitar solos, you've got Glenn Rogers from Heretic, Hyrax doing a lot of the leads. Larry Farkas from Circle of Silence and Vengeance doing some of the leads. Anyhow, yeah, it's really good.
Yeah,
so
Jimmy, it might be. I mean, man, it's hard to argue with the first album and Weapons of Our Warfare. They're just thrasher pieces, but this is a different animal, and I think it's his best work. It's my favorite thing he's ever done.
Yeah, and it's not thrash now. I mean,
No.
The album they did a few years ago was definitely a return to a thrash sound. This is more of a straightforward heavy metal album, progressive metal album, really well done. So let me pull up another one here that I think is just fantastic that I've listened to a bazillion times, and I've only had it for like a week. But the Eric Wagner solo album.
Oh, yeah, I have that, and I forgot to grab it.
In the Lonely Light of Morning. So good.
And morning is spelled how?
Mourning.
Yeah, like morning, not like in the light of morning. Have you listened to it? I honestly haven't been able to listen to it because of our proximity to the whole situation.
Yeah.
And one of these days I will. In fact, I don't know that our friend Henry, who was playing in the Skull at the time when this all unraveled, I don't know that he's listened to it either. And I've told him, I said, we'll sit down and listen to it together if that helps. But anyway.
There's some big name players in this thing too, man.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah, it's good. It's dark. It's emotional, but it's exactly what you would think it would be. It's exactly what you would want.
I mean, it's not exactly like Trouble or The Skull. I can see why it's a solo album, but there is a lot of those elements in here as well.
Yeah, but it is so much in that vein that you're not going to be disappointed if you're a Trouble or Skull fan.
So could it have been called Blackfinger 3? Is it more in the vein of like the Blackfinger records?
I'm not familiar.
I mean, yes and no. It's got some of that in there too. It's got a lot more. I don't know. melancholy is probably the word I'm looking for. Not mellow, but kind of sad. You know what I mean?
No,
Melancholy.
someone had mentioned too that it's almost like he had a feeling of where he was headed, and
I had to be in the club.
And for people that don't know the story, I mean, we had the fortunate opportunity to interview him. We saw him do a crushing show, and 2 weeks later he's gone. And
Yep.
and I, he and I got sick with the same problem, with the same disease, and he went one way and I went the other, and it is just absolutely mind numbing to think that you interact with people, you know them, and blah blah blah. But
Yeah.
one of these days I'll listen to it and it'll be fine. But for whatever
very
reason,
surreal that we were all there that night, just hanging out, and the interview went great. You can watch it. It's in one of our past episodes. I don't have a clue what number it is, but they were very accommodating, and as was Henry. And in the interview, he talks about doing this album, and then he passes, and now here's the album. Just very surreal, but
it is totally surreal.
So two things about it before we move on is one. First of all, Victor Griffin plays on this album, which I'm a huge Victor Griffin fan. Pentagram, Place of Skulls.
Yeah.
And, that interview you guys did was actually the last interview he ever did. So.
Yes, it was.
So anyhow, moving on. Your turn, Rob. Go for it.
All right. Well, speaking of tie-ins to the show, I was pretty stoked to pick this up. Pre-ordered this. Love it. If you've heard the singles, you'll like the rest of the album. And if you like what they've been doing over the past, 10, 15, 20 years, great, straight ahead.
Heavy metal. Yeah, I mean,
it's Saxon. It's fantastic Saxon. So I dig it. I've gotten through it a couple of times. I've been so stinking busy with my backlog of work that I haven't given it a complete, thorough, multiple listens. But I've been all the way through a couple times. I dig it, and it's just a no-brainer. If you love Saxon, you're going to love this. And cheers to Nigel, who's promised me a couple of pints next time he's there.
Yeah,
I have no doubt he'll deliver.
Nice package for this thing too. I mean, right down, it's a gatefold. It's got spot UV coating on the logo. It's got embossing. They put some money into this packaging. So
yeah. Hey Gary, I don't understand. Did you know Saxon released an Atmos version?
Yeah, the Atmos is it's like a Dolby surround sound of 5.0, but Atmos is a different type of compression sound. Most of your 7.1 movies are Atmos, where the sound comes down from the ceiling rather than coming at you like with a regular 5.1 system.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dolby. Okay.
Yeah, it's a different Dolby.
Dolby they have on steroids, Gary says. Okay.
Basically, yeah, that's exactly right.
So what you're saying, you got some doubly?
Some doubly, yes.
Yeah, doubly, yes.
Oh shit. Yeah, Mark. Damn it. Yep. He's right. Let's give a shout out to some of the comments. We've got a couple of new names. Richie, always good to see you, brother. Metal Overkill. Tony is here. Ryan Roebuck pops in every now and then. Check out his band Motivic. He's got new.
Oh yeah, killer band.
And when that's playing guitar Ritual Servant now.
That's a great record. Mega Jeff, good to see you. Mark Chaos Massacre from Down Under. TJ from Forebode. Justin Harris from down south around Houston.
Down way.
75 is a newer name, I believe. Good to see you, brother. The great Mark Fields up in Boston. Yeah, man, good comments today. I love it. Let's see. New Skid record coming out in October. Oh, yeah. Let's hop on that for a second. Have you guys seen the videos? What do you think?
I have saved the link because somebody sent it to me, but I haven't had a chance to actually sit down and listen to it yet.
So go look at I can't remember the dude's name now. Damn it. Anyway, he was in the band Heat. but he does a cover of 18 in Life that will blow your damn socks off. And then obviously he's in the band now, and he's, you know, all the live videos are dropping of them, cell phone videos, and man, the dude delivers the goods, and he's young and energetic, so it's pretty cool. But I saw Baz not too long ago, and he was pretty badass too. So I'm stoked about new Skid Row. Carcass doesn't care.
I mean, Slave to the Grind was pretty much it, and they were mind blowing. I saw them open for Pantera, and it was like there was some major competition. I mean, they were it was like a UFC throwdown, toe to toe. I mean, Skid Row was not going to get blown off the stage by Pantera, and vice versa.
Right.
And it was probably one of the wilder shows I've seen, including anyway.
Yeah, I keep hearing people talk about that Nazareth album. I'm going to have to check that out. I've seen people say, well, this guy's not in it and that guy's not in it. But if it's good, I'm interested, you know. So
yeah, I need to check it out too. I love Nazareth, but their last album they put out was very much not Nazareth. If you were looking for some Foo Fighters with Nazareth's name on it, maybe that's your
kind of like that Scorpions record. The one where they got abducted by aliens. Remember that one?
Eye to Eye. Yeah.
What was that called?
I do want to check it out, especially if it's a return to their classic, you know, their classic heavy metal hard rock sound from the 70s, 80s, whatever.
Hey, well, looky here, Motorhead Derek Hinesley.
That's right.
Wow, H-Town representing big time today.
The greatness.
Psych is here. What's up, Psych?
What's up, Derek? Yep, Psych is here too.
Awesome. The new Night Cobra.
Psych's up in Tulsa, I think, and Derek's down Houston
H-Town.
area.
Yep.
Who's up?
And I have not heard the Night Cobra, by the way.
I don't know who they are.
Haven't either, but I wrote it down, so I'm going to be checking it out.
Yep, same.
So if you guys ever see us like doing this,
we're writing something down.
We all have here. We're all writing.
We're talking about.
I do it every episode. So
that's exactly right.
Are you up, Rob, or is John up, or who's up?
I don't know. Go ahead.
You want me to go? Oh, well, I think I told you I found some things that I didn't think I'd ever see again in a record store. One of which is Thanatos, emerging from the netherworlds. This thing freaking shreds. Good European thrash. And this is one of my favorite little-known German death row Riders of Doom. And this thing absolutely
Is that a reissue? Original press?
Yeah, it's in there. Both of these are original pressing, and that's why I jumped all over them. And then, not to be outdone, my buddy Rodney Dunsmore, who was touring with the Mayhem and the Midnight guys, he gave me one of these from it's purple and black swirl. It comes with a download card, and it's actually really good. Midnight's hit and miss, and their live show can't be denied, but that's a pretty good record. And then before I venture off into something like I just saw a comment, Tears or Fears the new album is pretty awesome. Well, I'm going to venture off into something that's not metal, but this is definitely metal. The new Witch Vomit, and the new Worm for Everglades.
Okay,
and
bingo. Who had Witch Vomit on the Carcass bingo card?
Yeah, this thing freaking destroys. I did pick up the new Mortiferum, and I forgot I left it in there. But anyway,
they're all sitting around a room together, and they're like, "We need a band name." How about
Witch Vomit?
That's awesome. That's our name.
Well, it's not just a name. Let me tell you, these dudes can actually play, and it actually sounds great. And this Worm is probably in my top 5 for the year as far as releases. So that's it for the metal side of it. Now I've got a bunch of other stuff, but I'll let Scott or one of you guys.
These comments are awesome. Thank you guys for the comments so much.
Well, my next one will probably be discussed by both me and Rob because we talked about this earlier, but New Scorpions. For anybody who cares, Walmart's got an exclusive version of this thing with a lenticular cover. I already bought this version, so I'm not buying that one. But I did buy the 2-disc version because it's got 16 tracks on it. How many tracks is on the CD?
11.
Yeah, the vinyl's got extra tracks. It's got an extra 2-disc version of it. So it's good. It's not. Everybody was telling me it's a return to their classic sound. All right. Well, the problem with saying the Scorpions' classic sound is, for me, that would mean the 70s or early 80s, and that is not what this is.
It's not Blackout.
It's not Blackout. It's not any of those early 80s albums. It's definitely not Julia Roth style stuff. So if you're into the mid 80s stuff where they were more melodic, more commercial, hard rock, heavy metal, that's what you got going on here. They are good, and the sound is fantastic, and Close sounds great. So it is a very good album. It's just not. Look at this. I got a hand coming out of my head. Anyhow,
put it behind you so it looks like they're slapping your head.
Yeah, it's a really weird cover too. I mean, I don't know what's going on with the girl under the red stuff, but it's got little elements if you look closely, like her tongue is tattooed with the scorpion, and for whatever reason, the hand, I don't know if that's her hand or somebody else's hand, is not covered in the red stuff. So I don't know. I'm sure there's some kind of symbolism there.
I like it, and I think your review is spot on. It's not humanity. It's not that kind of thing. It definitely goes back, but to me, I heard more Crazy World, Savage Movement, that kind of thing.
Yeah, the mid to late 80s stuff. Yep,
for sure. And oh man, I love Satan. The last two have been great. I didn't even know that they had a new one. Can I say that? Oh, okay.
You just did. Don't worry about it. You'll be forgiven at some point. But anyway, go ahead.
Sorry. But I dig Satan a ton. I'm just going to keep saying it, I guess. I saw those dudes live. I was absolutely sold on their newer stuff. And now I'm losing all the titles. But anyway, I didn't even know they had a new freaking album out.
Yeah.
So I'm stoked to get that. I'll be writing that one down. New Dynasty and Final Advent.
Here you go. Here's another one that nobody's shown yet that I think is fantastic.
Wow, does sound awesome.
Oh, dude, I have heard that, and it does sound great.
I mean, Voivod's not putting out anything that I didn't like. So, I mean, they've been all over the map musically, from prog rock to straight up thrash to heavy metal to, I mean, they've been all over the place. But
I like their last one, and if that one's I think that one's just a carryover from the last one. Pretty
much is, and I mean, it sounds really, really good. I've enjoyed it quite a bit. I played it twice already. I just recently picked it up, but both times I was just like really digging it. So I dig the Vandergraaf Generator T-shirt he's wearing too.
Mm-hmm.
So
hey, Rob, were you with me that time when I bought the book from Away, and he signed it and drew a little picture for me? And remember, we met Barney in the back, or you already left?
No, I was gone.
Oh, that was the weird night where the Anthrax autograph story. Anyway, Voivod, man, I you know what? Even their stuff that's not supposed to be any good, I go back and listen to it, and I go, I understand this now. Kind of after the fact. Maybe I didn't understand it at the time, but hey, man, that Outer Limits, like I said, I'll still go to the island with that record. That thing is awesome.
Yeah, it is. All right, here's a more obscure one. Disillumination.
Don't know who it is.
Here's the cover. And here's the logo.
Oh, Carcass will love it.
Oh, that's right up my alley.
Extreme Russian death black metal. I mean, it's pretty. This is probably, it's as extreme as it gets. You get any faster than some of this stuff, you're gonna just have remember the old when you took your phone off the old phones and it would go because you left it off too long. That would be, if you get any faster, it's what you're gonna sound like. It's just gonna be one straight noise. But
what's up with you colluding with the Russians, man? You've had a lot of Russian releases here. You started us off with one, now you've got two in a row here.
Yeah, this is really good. Then they shipped it directly to me right before all that crazy happened over there. Of course, it's not happening in Russia; it's happening outside of Russia, but still. But yeah, it's good music. Really, if you're into extreme metal, it's something to look into. I was impressed. I'm not the biggest death black metal fan, but I really did enjoy it. What you got there?
Well, he said Barney, and you said extreme metal, so I grabbed this recently. I had the chance to get it. I think the last time I saw them, maybe not.
No, that's recent, and the vinyl just came out, and I have an orange copy.
I bagged this after they did that that streaming show the other day.
Yeah,
I checked that out, and then I went and got their last two. So I haven't even opened it yet. That's
dude,
how
that thing it rule. I think that they're becoming more riff oriented and less noise oriented. I mean, there was a time, like on Scum and some of the early things where it was just noise, like Scott says. It sounded like you left the phone off the hook. But now they're becoming a lot more riff oriented, and man, that I love that record. It's just it's a nice 2.0 of the last record. Really is good.
You guys go for a while. I've only got one more.
Well, here I found an Island record.
Oh, nice.
Original size, but how many times have you seen the OBI? I've never seen one with an OBI, and I found one finally, and I didn't even have to pay a lot for it. And everything's in there, all the inserts. And then here's something you'll dig, Scott, since I know you're kind of a Van Halen fan. I found a Van Halen 12-inch, and you really got me. And it's a radio single, and one side is mono, and the other side is stereo.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So for the guy that has everything, I bet they don't have a mono version of "You Really Got Me." But
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry. I think I didn't do it intentionally. I may have skipped this comment. I know literally nothing about Korn except a couple songs, and everybody's raving about the new Ghost album except Andrew Strickland.
Except John, Carcass John.
I haven't heard it.
It sounds like all their other albums, but they're really good musicians. They have a good shtick. They got a ton of money behind them, and it doesn't matter who they are because it's what they look like anyway, kind of like Slipknot, and all the parts are interchangeable. So they just, I don't know. To me, everyone says, well, they sound like Blue Oyster Cult. Well, then why don't we just listen to the new Blue Oyster Cult then?
Which is awesome.
Because that thing is awesome. I mean, why do we need another Blue Oyster Cult? But they're good. I just don't get it.
I'm in the don't get it category.
I dig them.
Okay.
I dig it.
What?
I dig it. I've seen them.
I don't dislike it. It just didn't grab me by the jugular and say, hey, this is awesome. That's all.
Yeah, I've seen them live twice. I think they're fantastic. I think they brought big costuming like Kiss back to the forefront and big stage show back to the forefront. And I kind of think they're helping with the revival of hard rock and metal in the mainstream. I haven't heard the new album, and I understand a lot of people don't like them for this reason or that reason or whatever, but I dig it. I find it very entertaining, and I'm buying the CD right now.
And Gary Ayrton says, I don't like Ghost, and I don't think they're anything like BOC, but heard that a lot. Well, I've heard it a lot too, and they have some harmony type parts and some guitar work that sounds a little like BOC, but I know that's what they've been compared to. I just don't understand why. But anyway.
Yeah. Damien Hair Metal, thanks for
exactly. Thank you, Mark. Thank you, Mark. Except I think Nickelback's better, but whatever. What do I know?
So yeah, look, Damien Hair Metal brought up the fact that, well, first of all, he said earlier, I think he said that Destruction's new album comes out in a few days, but he also just said there's a new Magnum album out. Well, I didn't know about that. So
yep, I didn't either.
And the new Destruction is good.
This is why we hang out on the Metal Roundtable.
I'm surprised that I'm saying the new Destruction is good because they've been pretty lackluster in my opinion just for the last couple of releases. But this one is good. They've got 2 new guitarists and they've got 2 guitarists, not just one, not just Mikey. I don't think Mikey's in the band anymore. I think it's Schmier, a new drummer, and 2 new guitar players in it. Correct me. Who knows? But it rips.
Are either of you aware of our milestone that we achieved today?
500 listeners.
500 subscribers.
Ooh.
How about
Hey,
the reimagined Annihilator metal?
is that like new people playing or just redoing the old songs?
It's a little bit of both.
Both?
Yeah, it's got some of the old songs from metal. It's got some newer songs on there that they wrote. It's got a cover of Heavy Metal Maniac on here.
Oh wow!
It's got new people playing on here. It's got Dan Bueller. Actually, it's got all the Exciter guys playing different parts on here at one point or another.
Wow.
Alan Bellinger, what's the guy's name? Jackus Ballinger. It's also got what do you call it on here? Jeff Waters obviously is the main guy on here, but I'm trying to think of the other name I'm looking for. Stu Block. There you go. Stu Block doing the vocals on this thing.
Huh.
Okay, cool.
Does Michael Ammett from Arch Enemy play on that? Like the other one?
I don't see his name listed. Let's see.
Okay.
Special guest appearances, Jeff Loomis.
Oh, well, he's from Arch Enemy. 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon.
And Nevermore.
Danko Jones plays on here.
I love Danko Jones.
Of course, Lips Steve Kudlow plays on here. But yeah, I mean it's all this. It's not all the same songs. There is some of the same songs, but it's different. Like there wasn't that cover of Heavy Metal Maniac on the original that I remember.
No.
But there is Chasing the High, Army of One, Romeo Delight, I believe, was on there. Clown Parade was on there.
It's a Van Halen cover.
It's really, yes, it is. Really, really well done. Really good.
Huh. Well, I like what Jeff Waters is doing these days. In fact, the last Annihilator release just rules.
So I enjoyed it. I don't know if I like it better than the original metal. I need to break that one out and listen to it because it's been a while. But it's funny because I was listening to the new one. I'm like, oh, I recognize that song. And, but it's just different. It's just like the Deliverance we talked about earlier. It's just different. I got a couple more. You want me to go, or you want to go?
Yeah, man.
Just go,
I got one left. So
I've got new Ty Tabor.
How is it?
It's good. It's Ty Tabor. I mean, it's King's X-ish, but it's not as heavy as King's X. It's a little lighter. I heard someone compare him to the is it Foo Fighters? I don't know the Foo Fighters, so I couldn't tell you that. But it's just straightforward guitar-led rock and roll. It's got
get that.
Some of those Beatlesque harmonies in there. I enjoyed it. It's not. It's definitely not King. A new King's X album, but I liked it. Two more. This one's not metal at all, but a lot of people were saying they don't like it, but I'm enjoying it. It's the new Yes album.
Oh yeah.
Packaging on this thing is just stellar.
Isn't that a double or a triple record?
It is a double. It is a double record, but it's got. Let me show it to you. First of all, it is Yes, but Steve Howe is really the only guy from the classic lineup left. Although Alan White plays on it as well, drums.
Who's singing?
They still got the same guy who's been singing for him for the last few albums, but it's not.
John Anderson.
John Anderson hasn't sang with him for quite a while, but Jeff Downs plays on this thing as well. So Jeff Downs has been with them for on and off for years and years and years. Billy Sherwood is playing with them, and John Davison, I believe, is the vocalist. So
that's that Asia connection.
So it's got but check this out. I mean, on top of all this picture sleeves in this thing and gatefold and nice artwork, it comes with a book. A 12 by.
Wow.
And it's like, I don't know how many pages. It's got to be at least 24 pages. But yeah, let's see if I can swing this thing around so you can kind of see it. But it's got the lyrics. It's like a gigantic CD booklet, basically.
Huh.
That's cool.
With all this beautiful artwork and photos of the band and anyhow, yeah, I'm enjoying it. It sounds like Yes. It doesn't have that growling bass tone without. I don't know. Chris Squire just had that sound, he had that growl, that
rusty,
that nasty,
a down-tuned Rickenbacker. Of course, it's going to sound growly like Lemmy.
That nasty Rickenbacker sound, exactly. It's not there, but it still sounds like Yes, and I'm quite enjoying it. It's a good prog rock record. So that's it. I have one more to show, but I have a feeling it's the same one Rob has, so I'll let Rob go ahead and do it.
Go ahead and show it. Oh,
haven't popped the seal on it yet. I have no idea. Heard one song, heard the promo video. I think a band is worth supporting if I like one song. I just trust them to bring me something good. So, and it is shockingly hard to get Wolf CDs. For some reason, when I try to get them on Amazon, it says seller cannot ship to this location, even though I've bought from them before.
Well, this particular album is released on Century Media USA, so this one's kind of easy to get.
Yeah, so I had a hard time finding some of their more recent ones. So if there's a secret, I'd love to know, but
that's probably a Discogs thing.
Haven't even heard it. Scott, what do you think?
Good, straightforward heavy metal, exactly what you expect from Wolf. I love the hype sticker on here. I think it's hilarious. I don't know if anybody else will quite get the humor that I thought. Do you see it?
I just now read it.
It
That's
says,
funny.
For fans of Wolf. Really? Fans of Wolf would like this Wolf record?
I love that. That's brilliant.
That is brilliant.
That is freaking brilliant.
It comes with a big old poster of the artwork too inside the vinyl. So it's and an insert, lyric insert, whatnot. But there's also a gigantic poster in here of the there it is. If I can get it out. So it's not.
I have a feeling most Wolf fans will like the giant wolf artwork.
Oh, I went to Century Media's site, and the last thing I searched was Wolf.
So yeah, it's a good record if you're into that, new wave of traditional heavy metal. These guys actually predate that new wave of traditional heavy metal, but not by much. They've got a lot of albums out now. I think I have all of them, but
I got the one with the green cover and really like it. I can't even remember.
Flame?
Yes.
Yep, that's a great one.
So
I'm having a hard time finding because I'm not going to get up and go through all of that, but I have a couple of theirs, but man, I need more Wolf in my life, in my metal diet.
Oh, well.
500 people.
Who's
That's
500?
crazy.
Can you see who the 500th person is? We need to send him something.
I don't know. Oh, here's one that's coming soon. Oh, dang. Hang on. I got distracted. I wasn't seeing what was on the screen.
new Fozzy album.
Do you have any Fozzy, Scott?
I have the first 3 on CD.
How are they? I know one song. I know Martyr.
First album is all covers, and it's got this backstory to it. How Fozzy was the original writers of all these classic songs from Twisted Sister and other bands, and the other bands stole them from them. It's obviously a joke. Second album is half covers, half originals. Third album is all originals, and it's good. It's just straightforward heavy metal. It's not progressive. It's not thrash. It's not any of that kind of thing. It's just straightforward heavy metal, and I dig it. I really haven't ventured into anything past that, though.
Yeah, they're coming soon, like in April or May. Well, maybe they're coming in May, and I'm
well, and Jericho, Chris Jericho is
night, which kind of sucks, but
Chris Jericho has had a real resurgence in his wrestling career with this AEW, the All Elite Wrestling or whatever.
Yeah,
and I don't know, it might be worth trying to get him on the show or something.
Well, we've got his contact info, and I've hit him up a few times, and he always responds. And the planets just haven't aligned yet, but we will have.
Yeah, I bet he's an interesting guy. He's wrestled in Japan. He's wrestled all over the world. He's been in music. He's toured. He's been on some huge.
Yeah, I think we can get him on with a little bit of effort.
I had a
Renaissance man.
A little bit of a run-in with him that was working on a reissue for Tourniquet's third album, and apparently he's a huge Tourniquet fan. So he ended up writing the liner notes for that Pathogenic Ocular Dissonance album.
That's cool.
He shouted us out on those Barren Cross reissues too. I didn't even know. Somebody messaged me and said, "Hey, Le Champion just mentioned your name on his show," and I'm like, I don't even know what that is. I had to Google it. I didn't know who that was, and the guy didn't tell me in the text. And so I reached out to him through Messenger, and he hit me back immediately and gave me his number. And so I will try to pursue that.
Yeah, let's try it. Because
off my radar, but I'll try to pursue that. He would be an awesome guest. I bet he's funny.
I'm sure he is.
Well, what else do you boys want to talk about before we wrap this up?
Well, I don't have anything metal left because I skate all over the place. But once again, I walk into CD Warehouse and they're playing Alphonse Mouzon, who's the drummer for Weather Report, and this thing kills. It's like Living Color meets Herbie Hancock, and so I'm on the rate, and that's kind of hard to find. Oh, Motorhead Derek was, yeah, there you go. And so now that I like Alphonse Mouzon, I find his stuff all the time. This is like he just has a whole bunch of guests: Steve Gadd, Herbie Hancock, all sorts of killer things. And anyway, so I sort of got into the jazz fusion thing, but I don't want to bore a metal crowd with that. But if you're into prog or fusion or that type of metal, man, there's a lot of jazz fusion in prog music, and it was happening back in the late '60s, early '70s. So Alphonse Mouzon, that's my number one non-metal find of the month.
I am stoked that Metalhead Derek was number 500 because we know Metalhead Derek. That's awesome.
No, we need
Another update as we start wrapping up here. We're going to have T-shirts very soon, and there are going to be 3 different styles.
Anybody a fan of this band?
Hammerfall?
I know.
Yes.
I know a little bit. I got into that kind of stuff when I went through the whole Sonata Arctica power metal thing, and I went all over the power metal map, and I think I have one, but I've never dug deep with them.
Well, this is their brand new album, just came out. So, and then check this out. This is not a brand new album, but it's a brand new release that I just picked up.
Don, what's up? I will get to your stuff. I love you. I promise I will get your album done. I was apologizing to him today because I'm so dreadfully behind.
Hey, Mega Jeff, some of them have vocals.
I'll get there, buddy.
But they're mostly instrumental.
Anyhow, yeah, this is a razor shaped.
Is that the new one?
No, this is Armed and Dangerous.
Or that Armed and Dangerous. Okay.
Yeah,
they're supposed to come out with a new record soon, aren't they?
That's what I hear.
That is killer.
Oh, damn, that's a record?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. When you showed me that the other day, when you sent the picture, I knew there was an insert back there, but I didn't realize it was a record.
Yeah, it's a shaped record.
That's badass.
There's the back.
That's really cool.
So anyhow, I thought it was pretty cool, so I snatched it up. It wasn't too expensive, but I'm sure there will be soon a high roller release.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So Charles that just chimed in is somebody that I ran into again this past week for the first time in 25 years. Old friend of mine, borrowed a 4-track recorder for him because I can't tell you what it is. This is a 4-track cassette, and it has a demo of someone very famous on it. I am so stoked. You know about this, Carcass. Remember? Henry gave me the DAT tapes. And
yeah.
So this song was on a soundtrack, but this is the stereo music finished, and the other 2 tracks are him messing around and humming through the vocal melodies and getting ideas, and I can't wait to hear it. So I can't. That's all I can say. I'm not trying to be cryptic, but
it's another Iron Rainbow moment.
I think it's going to come out as a bonus track, and that's for those guys to decide way down the road. But yeah, it was pretty cool. The shirts, I'll get you info on the shirts as soon as I can, and we'll post it in the description every week. We've just signed a deal with these dudes to do shirts for us on a percentage basis, and it's all cool, and they do tons of stuff. They've done stuff for Scott and a bunch of different people, but I don't have the link to ours. We're on a different side. He's got 2 different sides. He's got this kind of music and this kind of music, and we're on the other side, and I don't know what the address is yet. So once we get that squared away, you can go ape and buy all 500 of you need to buy a shirt, and we'll make $12 off of it.
Hey, one more thing before we go. You're a Dio fan, right?
Oh yeah.
Did you ever seen this?
No. What
No.
does that say?
Live box 4 CD set, legendary radio broadcasts. It's got 4 discs on it. 1994, 2000, 2000, and 2005. It's
Cool.
pretty darn good. The sound quality is. I haven't heard all 4 discs yet. I've only heard I went right away for the 2000 disc because I love the Magic album and they plays the entire album live on this thing. But the sound quality was fantastic.
If one of them is from around the Killing the Dragon era, I'll be all over that because I saw that tour.
CD4 is from the Killing the Dragon tour.
Yes. Okay.
But anyhow, 4 CD set. It's just called Live Box.
There will be shirts, Mark. There will. They are. In fact, the one I wore on the show last week is from these guys. I bought it as a test to see what quality it was, and I was very pleased.
Man, sorry, I keep yawning. I'm all stuffed up from allergies, and it makes me yawn.
Right on, boys. All right. Any parting shots?
I appreciate everybody watching and chatting.
Oh, dude, yeah, this was a good show, man. Everybody was nice and active in the comments. And I know we've had some guests on lately, but we're going to get more interactive over the past couple of weeks. So if something you guys want to chat about, let us know. If you got, we're here for you, man. We like to party.
I was hoping we could get a drummer from a hair metal band on. What do you think?
I think that will not be a problem.
Right on.
According to the infamous sticky notes, there are lots of guests and phone numbers written on here, so I have some work to do.
Well, put down Chris Jericho too, so you don't forget.
Yep. Man, there's a couple of these that would dig deep, way back into the OG early hair metal. So Carcass will probably be sick that day.
I'll run silent, run deep.
That's right. All right, boys, let's catch up this last comment here. What is this? Awesome. Driven to Revolt. Now, that's a name I have not seen before. Thank you for tuning in. Derek, congrats on 500. You get nothing.
And you'll like it.
Until we get shirts, maybe I'll send you a shirt.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome, boys. You know how
All
we
right.
do it. Until next time for episode 131 of the Metal Roundtable, I am Metal Rob. You can find me on Instagram at I am Metal Rob. You can find the Carcass on Instagram at Carcass John Art. And you can find the greatness of Scott Waters on YouTube. He has 1 billion followers. Just Google Scott Waters on YouTube or just search Scott Waters on YouTube. All right, boys. That's it. Until next time.
Metal will prevail.
And now I start. See, I wasn't prepared. And now I have to go to the tab that has the outro. I know. All right, here we go.